Exclusive contracted novel by Feilu Novel Network. Wuxia. Starting with a list of the top 10 related accounts. Chen Xuan traveled to the world of comprehensive martial arts and obtained the inventory system, where he could receive rewards as long as he checked. So, at the beginning, we conducted a list of the top 10 related accounts in Zhongwu. 10th place. Zhang Wuji. Master Zhang Sanfeng, the founder of Wudang, grandfather in Tianying, the giant of the demon cult, and Lady Hongyan are either saints, leaders, or princesses. 9th place. Guojing. One of the four wonders of Master, Hong Qigong, a northern beggar, Huang Yaoshi, the father-in-law of Dongxia, Huang Rong, the girlfriend of the beggar's sect leader, a close friend, an old mischievous child, and sworn brother Genghis Khan. 8th place. Su Fengnian. Father Tu Baoyang Wang Su Shao, Master Li Shan, Uncle Deng Tea, Little Mother Beimang Empress. Red Beauty Friend Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 1. Opening inventory of the top 10 martial arts related accounts. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Finally edited. Qixia Town. Tongfu Inn, in a certain room. Chen Xuan breathed a big sigh of relief, his eyes filled with anticipation and joy. He was originally a host on Earth, but unexpectedly, he traveled to the world of martial arts. It is still a world of martial arts where dynasties stand side by side and various well-known martial arts forces and figures from the past coexist. Fortunately, he awakened an inventory editing system. Can illuminate the entire world of martial arts. After publishing the inventory video, not only will the person being counted receive rewards, but this publisher will also receive generous rewards. As an ordinary person, coming to this world of martial arts where the fittest eat the fittest is like fish on a chopping board, to be slaughtered by others. Therefore, Chen Xuan chose to immediately edit the video and start the inventory. Inventory video editing completed, will the host publish it? A mechanical sound of electronic synthesis echoed through Chen Xuan's mind. Publish. Accompanied by Chen Xuan's words. In an instant, the sky outside underwent a huge transformation. Originally clear for thousands of miles, suddenly a magnificent purple and golden light filled the air. This light, spanning the entire sky. Then, like a scroll, it slowly unfolds, illuminating the earth. No matter who or where, this sky curtain can be perfectly and clearly seen. Next up, the sound of a grand avenue, like a bell, resounds through the heavens and earth. Tiandao Inventory, start. Those who participate in inventory will receive a Heavenly Way Inventory Award. After each inventory is completed, you will receive an opportunity to ask questions. Inventory takers are omniscient and capable. Suddenly. Comprehensive martial arts world. Extremely shocking. Tiandao Inventory. What does this mean? Heavenly rewards. What will there be? Can anyone explain? What are the criteria for being listed? What terrifying existence is a stockist? Omniscient. Omnipotent. If it's true, then this opportunity to ask questions is very precious. A series of surprised and shocked voices erupted from all corners of the world. Daqin. Within the Tianying palace. On the throne, a man dressed in a black dragon robe and a crown, with a majestic and upright posture, exuding a domineering aura that ordinary people cannot match. He is the master of the great Qin Empire. Yingzheng. The remaining sins of the 6 countries are like a 100-legged insect dying without stiffening. The voice of majesty and oppression sounded. Below. Li Si and Zhao Gao, high-ranking officials, quickly bent down and knelt down. Your Majesty, calm down. At this very moment, heaven and earth undergo great changes, and above the sky, a purple and golden sky curtain stretches across the sky. The sound of the Great Road is transmitted. What is this? Heavenly Way inventory. What is it? Does the person on the list receive a heavenly reward? Are there any widows, and are there elixirs of immortality? Yingzheng raised his head. Shockingly looking towards the sky, he had long forgotten about the remaining sins of the 6 kingdoms. The inventorier knows everything and is omnipotent. Even if it cannot be counted. I also have the opportunity to ask questions and find ways to live forever. Wudang. Wudang's 7 heroes and their disciples gathered together. Congratulations to Master, Leader, for leaving the level. A fairy-like figure stepped out of the cave. He is the founder of Wudang, Zhang Sanfeng. This time of seclusion. Striking for heaven and earth, yet always one step short. I have been in seclusion for 10 years, do you have any news about Xueshan? 10 years ago. Zhang Xueshan went missing and his search was fruitless, so he entered seclusion. Upon hearing this, Song Yuanxiao shook his head and said, "Go back to Master, there's no news from 5th junior brother." Everyone sighed. Just at this moment, the Heavenly Way inventory emerged in full swing. What is this? Everyone looks around. Zhang Sanfeng glanced sideways at this miraculous existence. Inventory. I don't know if I can make the old man pursue the end of the martial arts path. There is also a chance to ask questions. Perhaps we can know the whereabouts of Xueshan. Wudi City. A green shirt, majestic with tiger eyes. It is Wang Xianji who claims to be the second in the world. He stood at the head of the city of Emperor Wu, looking up. Looking towards the sky. The huge canopy, accompanied by the sound of the Great Road, shook his heart and soul. Pursue the pinnacle of martial arts throughout one's life, and consider oneself invincible in the world. But I have never seen such a battle before. Are they the hands and feet of those people in the sky again? Heavenly immortals, fishing for human luck. Now. Did you come up with some new way? For being omniscient and omnipotent, he remained skeptical. Longhu Mountain. Back Mountain. A towering cloud-like mountain peak, cut open by flat pushing, gave birth to a mirror-like lake surface. On the lake surface, there is a small pavilion. In the pavilion, a man, holding a fishing rod, sat cross-legged. Fishing on the lake surface. He is Zhao Huangchao, fishing for dragons. In a daze. The sky undergoes drastic changes. The fishing rod in hand suddenly broke. What is this? He pinched his fingers and calculated, but suddenly his face changed drastically. Look somewhere. That's Baoyang. Why? The chi of Baoyang suddenly increased so much. He raises evil dragons and specializes in devouring the northern Liang Qi Yun. Now. After the appearance of this celestial phenomenon, the northern cool air circulation surged. It has surpassed the Liang dynasty. Is it the handwriting of Baoyang? Qinghua. Imperial Palace. A white robe, with a somewhat lazy expression, but a sharp Qing emperor was revealed in his eyes. Standing at the head of the city. Looking towards the sky. I have long been shocked by this imagery. Now that Fan Xian has entered the capital, such a scene has appeared. Isn't it that the Heavenly Lord has helped me? He harbors the idea of unifying the world. Unfortunately, under the grasp of power, various forces are also surging in the dark. Therefore, taking advantage of Fan Xian's entry into the capital, I plan to completely control everything. Inventory. Hee. I have good luck and must be on the list. The entire world of comprehensive martial arts is completely boiling. And at this moment, above the sky, a line of characters slowly appeared in the center of the canopy. Tiandao Inventory Open. Inventory of top 10 related accounts. Chapter 2 Inventory begins. 10th place. Zhang Wuji. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. For a while, everyone in the world of martial arts was shocked. Related accounts. What's there to take inventory of this thing? My relationship is very strong, take a look at me. What does it mean? Everyone was hesitant and curious, some of whom were unclear. What makes them puzzled is, what is there to take inventory of this relationship? After all, most people in the martial arts world are familiar with their background and background. On this occasion, embroidered Jade Valley, the flowers bloom year after year without fail, with unparalleled freshness and beauty. This place is as beautiful as a fairyland, with a mysterious terrain. It is also the location of the flower-moving palace. At this moment, there is an elegant courtyard in Xiuyu Valley. Flowers in clusters, colorful, with a variety of forms. In a pavilion in the courtyard, there is a woman looking up at the sky. Women dress brightly, and their facial features are even more stunning. The body shape is unique and perfect, eye-catching to the extreme. There seems to be infinite power emanating from her petite and delicate appearance. It is the Grand Palace Master of the Yihua Palace who invites the moon with a body of immortals and demons. On relationships. Looking at the lines of big characters moving in the sky, inviting the moon to frown slightly. After a moment of thought, she stretched her eyebrows and looked proud. If it's about relationships, who can compare with no deficiency? Inviting the moon murmured to herself, full of confidence. You know, she is a heavenly and human powerhouse. In terms of relationships, isn't it hard enough? Not to mention, behind the absence of flowers, there is also the entire transfer palace as a support. In the view of inviting moon, this so-called heavenly way inventory is related to households. His disciple Hua Wuk will definitely make it to the list. Tang Dynasty. A deep forest mountain stream somewhere. A masked man stood up at the edge of a cliff. Although the man's face is not visible, it is delicate. But its posture was upright, exuding a palpitating pressure. The man is not someone else, he is just a bad handsome person. At this moment, the handsome villain stared straight at the sky. Heavenly Way Inventory. Related accounts. Looking at it, he muttered with a slight suspicion. Isn't this a list of heavenly ways? I don't know. Your Highness is an orphan of the Tang Dynasty. Can you make it to the list? Thinking of these, the bad handsome couldn't help but sigh with regret. He has been working hard for many years in order to restore the Tang Dynasty. But unfortunately, the young master Li Xingyun seemed indifferent to restoring Tang Dynasty rule. If His Highness can make it to the list, he will receive an inventory reward. That's great. Alternatively, obtain a question after the inventory is completed. You can inquire about the method of restoring the Tang Dynasty. Isn't this inventory collector claiming to be omniscient and omnipotent? After a moment of contemplation, the unscrupulous handsome couldn't help but look forward to this heavenly Tao inventory even more. Although he is cold-blooded and ruthless, he is loyal to the Li Tang royal family. What I really want to do is to restore the rule of the Tang Dynasty. Bailiang. On an official road. There are two people resting along the road. These two people, one old and one young. All dressed in rags, disheveled. Even that horse is thin and weak. It looks like two beggars. The old man was carrying a long strip of luggage wrapped in rags, and under his grin, he was missing two front teeth. Although the few are covered in dirt, it is difficult to conceal their whiteness and exude a scholarly aura. These two people are not others. The prominent figures are Su Fengnian, the crown prince of northern Liang, and Lao Huang, the horse groom, who has been traveling abroad. At this moment, both of them were slowly gazing at the sky. As Su Fengnian watched, he pursed his slightly cracked lips and said, "Old Huang. Do you believe it or not, can I be on this list? Upon hearing this, old Huang nodded without hesitation and smiled, saying, if anything else, the crown prince will definitely not be able to ascend, in terms of relationships. Your highness is second, no one dares to be first. At first glance, Su Fengnian smiled contentedly, with a hint of pride. Following closely, his expression changed and he stared straight at the old yellow path. Good, you old yellow. What does it mean that others definitely can't get on? Is this crown prince so unlucky? I see you're itching. During his speech, Su Fengnian didn't wait for any response from old Huang and rushed towards him directly. The old Huang who was taking out the kettle was surprised when he saw this. Then, he quickly got up and fled. Young master, you haven't eaten anything, save some energy. As he fled, old Huang said. Just as everyone is discussing. Above the sky, suddenly came the voice of words. Inventory the top 10 related accounts. 10th place. Zhang Wuji. The sound echoed like thunderbolts, instantly echoing throughout the world of comprehensive martial arts. As soon as these words were spoken. In the vast scene deep in the sky, a figure slowly emerged. This person is dressed in a green shirt, with a jade-like appearance, clear eyebrows and beautiful eyes, very handsome. In addition to being clear and gentle, it gives people a feeling of being exceptionally handsome and not a thing in the pool. Accompanied by this manifestation, it emerges. Everyone in the world of martial arts is staring intently. This. Zhang Wuji. Who is this? It looks quite nice, but this is an inventory relationship. What kind of relationship can this person have? What kind of thing? How could this be on the list? I haven't even heard of this person's name. For a moment, everyone exclaimed in surprise, their faces filled with astonishment. I thought the first person to take inventory would be someone of great fame. But who would have thought that after the candidates were announced, they would become unknown? Chapter 3. The Son of Tianxuan. Bullet Chat Real-Time Mapping. You are listening at novelfull.audio. At the same time. Beihai, a deserted island. There are unexploded volcanoes on this island, coupled with being situated within glaciers. Therefore, it is named Ice and Fire Island. At this moment, a man stood up on a rocky beach. The man has an exceptionally tall figure, with yellow hair all over his head and loose shoulders. His eyes turned pale, and he turned out to be blind. But even so, he only stood on that rock. It gives people a majestic feeling, like a heavenly god or general. The man is none other than Xie Sun, who is known as the Golden Lion King. Zhang Wuji. At this moment, upon hearing the sound of the Heavenly Way inventory, Xie Sun couldn't help but be surprised. Following closely, he suddenly burst out laughing. Ha! Is it my innocent child? 10 years ago, in order to seek revenge by uncovering the secrets of the dragon-slaying saber, he went to the Wangpan Mountain Trial Saber Conference and successfully snatched the dragon-slaying saber that was originally obtained by the Heavenly Eagle Sect. Afterwards, Zhang Sanfeng, one of the 7 heroes of Wudang, and Yin Susu, the leader of the Purple Micro Hall of the Heavenly Eagle Sect, were taken hostage to the deserted island in the East China Sea. Helplessly, a shipwreck occurred at sea. The 3 of them wandered back and forth to this Ice and Fire Island in the North Sea. Xie Sun, due to his madness, attempted to kill Yin Susu, but his mosquito whisker needle destroyed his eyes. On Ice and Fire Island, the 3 of them cleared up their past grievances and formed a sworn alliance. And Xie Sun also adopted the newborn son of the couple as his adopted son, naming him Wuji. Xie Sun naturally knew the identities of Zhang Sanfeng and Yin Susu. In his opinion, his adopted son Zhang Wuji went to this related account inventory. It's just a matter of course. After a moment of thought, Xie Sun couldn't help but sigh. Wuji's child is truly the chosen child of heaven. As he spoke, a hint of concern appeared on his face and he said. I don't know, have Xueshan and the others returned to the Central Plains? On this occasion, on the way to the Central Plains, a family of 3 is slowly moving forward. The man has a clear and courteous demeanor, yet his humility cannot conceal his passionate and energetic demeanor. The woman's appearance is stunning, delicate and unparalleled, with white hands surpassing snow. Her jade cheeks are slightly thin, and her eyebrows are curved and her nose is straight. Who are not Zhang Xueshan and Yin Susu. The child being led by 2 people is wearing clothes made of various wild animal fur, with thick eyebrows and handsome eyes. It's Zhang Wuji. In addition to his actions, he witnessed the arrival of the Heavenly Way inventory. The 3 of them coincidentally looked up and were shocked. What's going on? Tiandao inventory. Related accounts. Zhang Xueshan exclaimed in surprise, his face full of confusion, completely unaware of the situation. Yin Susu, who was nearby, also felt inexplicable. On the contrary, Zhang Wuji blinked his big eyes and naively looked at the sky. Before the 3 of them could react on what was going on, Tiandao inventory had already listed the people to be counted this time. Inventory: the top 10 related accounts. 10th place. Zhang Wuji. Seeing this scene, Zhang Xueshan and his wife couldn't help but feel deeply moved. The same name as our child. Zhang Xueshan exclaimed in surprise, looking incredulous. Yin Susu also frowned, with a solemn expression. At this moment, Zhang Wuji exclaimed in surprise. Dad! Mom! I checked it. When he said these words, Zhang Wuji was overjoyed and almost danced. I feel very powerful. Upon hearing this, Zhang Xueshan and Yin Susu were not happy. Worries surfaced in both of their expressions. After all, their identities represent the 2 paths of righteousness and evil. Zhang Xueshan is a disciple of Wudang and also Zhang Sanfeng's most proud personal disciple. And here, Yin Susu is the daughter of Yin Tianying, the White Eyebrow Eagle King, and the head of the Purple Way Hall of the Eagle Sect. The 2 belong to the righteous and demonic factions, but now they have come together. And also has a son named Zhang Wuji. If this inventory is exposed, I don't know how much trouble it will cause. The more you think about it, the greater the concern on both faces. For them, they don't want their son Zhang Wuji to be counted. At the same time, the entire world of martial arts is curious about Zhang Wuji's identity. After all, no one has ever heard of this person. I can't understand why such an unknown person should be listed in this Heavenly Way related account inventory. Just as everyone was hesitating and curious. In the vast scene deep in the sky, a barrage of bullets drifted up at this moment. Su Fengnian. It's interesting that it's not me. Sword 9 Yellow. Crown Prince, don't worry, you probably rank first. Su Fengnian. This is very strange. What I thought in my heart was that I could be listed in this inventory sky. Xiong Ba. Surprisingly, it is not on this list. Dugu sighed. Xiong Ba, do you want to be on the list? Dreaming. Inviting month. My family is perfect, and I am on this list. As countless bullet comments drifted by, everyone who was watching the inventory of the Heavenly Tao was all stunned. Especially for those who see their thoughts being transformed into bullet comments in the inventory screen. One by one, they were even more stunned, their faces full of incomprehension. What is the situation? Can it still be like this? For a moment, everyone was shocked. I feel that this day's inventory of related households is unparalleled. Even what people think in their hearts can be mapped into the inventory screen in the form of text. Moreover, it seems to be able to communicate in real time within the screen. How can such a strange situation not shock everyone? Just as everyone was amazed by this real-time barrage. Above the canopy, the scene suddenly changes, and then the sound of the heavenly way rolls in. Zhang Wuji's Family Relations Chapter. Shigong, Wudang Patriarch, Zhang Sanfeng. Chapter 4. Master Zhang Sanfeng. Surprisingly, everyone shocked. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. With the sound of the heavenly way spreading. In the picture, a figure slowly emerged. This person is tall and imposing, with big ears and round eyes, and beard like a halberd. In a blink of an eye, it gives a feeling of ethereal elegance and backbone. Who is Zhang Sanfeng, who is not the founder of Wudang Sect? In this world of martial arts, Zhang Sanfeng's reputation has long been spread and admired by countless people. Nowadays, its figure appears in the Tiandao inventory. How to not make people feel shocked? This. I didn't read it wrong, did I? Is Zhang Wuji's master actually Zhang Jinren? For a moment, countless people were shocked and their faces were full of incomprehension. Meanwhile, within the inventory screen, the number of bullet comments skyrocketed, densely crossing. Su Fengnian. Damn it. This kid is actually Zhang Jinren's disciple grandson. Sword 9 Yellow. Don't panic, Crown Prince. You are the first. Xiong Ba. No wonder this person can participate in this heavenly way inventory. This relationship is strong enough. Dugu sighed. With Zhang Sanfeng as his master, who dares to bully in this world? Kong 1. Humph. If Zhang Sanfeng's disciple can go up, I can also go to Shaolin. Invitation month. It's just the 10th place, my family is perfect, and I will definitely be on this heavenly way inventory list. Countless people's thoughts are all scrolling through the inventory screen in the form of bullet comments. On this occasion, Wudang. Outside the Zhenwu Hall, everyone in Wudang looked up at each other. When everyone saw the Tiandao inventory screen, they were all shocked. This. Did I hear you right? Is this Zhang Wuji actually the disciple of his ancestor? No way. Why haven't we heard of it before? So, is he still my Wudang disciple? Wudang disciples were amazed and looked puzzled. After all, as people of Wudang, they have never heard of the name Zhang Wuji. The 7 heroes of Wudang were also shocked upon seeing this. Last name Zhang. After hesitating, several people's minds coincidentally thought of one person. Is it the child of the 5th brother? Suddenly, Song Yuanxiao exclaimed in surprise. As he spoke these words, Yu Lianzhou and others around were also amazed. Master's disciple, only the 5th brother's surname is Zhang. Calling master and master must be the son of the 5th junior brother. Oh my God. Speaking of which, Brother Wu is still alive. Yeah. Not only alive, but also children. Great. Song Yuanxiao and other Wudang's 7 heroes were amazed and amazed. For them, Zhang Sanfeng is still alive, which is nothing but great good news. In shock, the 7 heroes of Wudang all looked at the old man in front of them. The old man is magnanimous and composed, with a dignified demeanor and a fairy-like demeanor. It is Zhang Sanfeng, the founder of Wudang. At this moment, Zhang Sanfeng's face was filled with regret and emotion after hearing about the Tiandao inventory. Suishan. Unconsciously, it has been 10 years of cold and summer. Thinking of his disciple, Zhang Sanfeng sighed with emotion. Zhang Suishan has the highest talent among the 7 heroes of Wudang. He has always been deeply loved by Zhang Sanfeng, and even regarded him as his successor. But 10 years ago, after the battle of Wang Panshan's sword-raising ceremony, there was no news at all. He originally thought that Zhang Suishan had died in Xie Sun's hands. Who would have thought that Zhang Suishan was still alive? And he also brought himself a disciple grandson. Wuji. Free-spirited, without distractions, fearless. Good name. Thinking about it, Zhang Sanfeng couldn't help but exclaim in admiration. At the same time, go to the official road leading to Beiliang. Su Fengnian and Lao Huang sat against the weeds by the roadside. In the previous chase, both of them were panting heavily. Seeing that the inventory of the heavenly Tao had revealed the figure of Zhang Sanfeng. And the teacher of Zhang Wuji is Zhang Sanfeng. Can't help but shock both of them. This Zhang Wuji is actually a person from Wudang, the disciple and grandson of Zhang Zhenren. Interesting. Su Fengnian sighed and said. I couldn't help but become more curious and decided to take a good look at this heavenly way inventory. Upon hearing this, old Huang couldn't help but grin and reveal his missing yellow teeth. Don't panic, Crown Prince. You are the first. Upon hearing this, Su Fengnian's eyebrows sank and his face looked strange, without any curiosity. I said, Lao Huang, can you change the word? What's the point of saying, Lao Huang, Lao Huang was momentarily stunned and responded, saying. The Crown Prince is the first, don't panic. Lao Huang, you. Su Fengnian felt quite helpless, but there was nothing to say. Shaking his head and sighing, he shifted his attention to the heavenly way inventory. At the same time, within the world of comprehensive martial arts. Countless gazes. I want to see what the next direction of the Taoist chart will be. Just as everyone was paying attention. At this moment, the inventory screen turned in vain. At first glance, but seeing the picture frozen in Wudang. In a cloud room. Zhang Sanfeng tore open Zhang Wuji's clothes on his back. I saw a clear green 5-finger palm print on top of the thin skin and white flesh. The palm print is unusually hot, but the surroundings are cold and shimmering with cold light. Upon seeing it, Zhang Sanfeng frowned and said. The extremely sinister Xianming divine palm has been lost. How could anyone know that there is still someone in the world who knows this martial arts? As soon as the words fell, the inventory screen suddenly changed again. Under fixed gaze, Zhang Sanfeng and Zhang Wuji were bidding farewell to the 7 heroes of Wudang. Master, let us accompany you to Shaolin, right? Song Yuanxiao opened his mouth. Zhang Sanfeng shook his head and responded, saying. If we have a large number of people, it will inevitably cause suspicion in Shaolin. It's better for us, the old and the young, to go together. If we obtain the 9-yang manual, Wuji still has vitality to continue. Immediately, Zhang Sanfeng and Zhang Wuji each rode a green donkey and headed north. Chapter 5. Shaolin is in trouble. Getting involved with a related party. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Seeing this scene of inventory taking. All those who are eye-catching are shocked. At the same time, the barrage in the screen also swept across like mountains howling and the sea howling. This. Zhang Wuji was hit by the Xianming divine palm. What? Xianming divine palm, such a sinister martial arts skill. Who did it? What a pity for Zhang Wuji. Can't even Zhang Zhenren do anything about it. Humph, do you want me to learn the Shaolin 9-yang manual? There's no one in the sect. At the same time. Zhang Sanfeng and his wife are located. After seeing the inventory screen, both of them looked shocked. How could it be? Yin Susu muttered in shock, her face incredulous. Naturally, it can be seen that the content displayed in this inventory screen seems to be a matter of the future. After all, they haven't returned to the Central Plains yet. In the inventory screen, Zhang Wuji is already in Wudang. Standing beside Zhang Sanfeng, his face was also filled with astonishment. This. Unexpectedly, Wuji was hit by the Xianming divine palm. Who is against us? Surprisingly, even my master couldn't do anything about it. He murmured and exclaimed, as if he had been struck by a bolt from the blue. Just as Zhang Sanfeng and his wife were at a loss, Zhang Wuji suddenly spoke up. Dad, Mom. The inventory screen is all about future events. Now it is known that it can be changed. According to Zhang Wuji's statement, Zhang Sanfeng and Yin Susu just realized. Wuji is right. The future has not yet happened. We should be careful and avoid it. Yin Susu just finished speaking. Not far away, there was a sudden cry of surprise. Look! Isn't that kid the one on the inventory list? Accompanied by this person's exclamation, many gazes were directed towards Zhang Wuji. Sure enough, it's Zhang Wuji. So, by his side is Zhang Sanfeng. In the Battle of Yangdao, Zhang Sanfeng and Xie Sun disappeared like humans. He must know about Xie Sun's whereabouts. For a moment, many martial artists gathered around Zhang Sanfeng and his three companions. After all, at the Wangpan Shanyang Dao conference back then, Xie Sun was ruthless in all directions and ultimately took the dragon-slaying saber and left. This also led him to form enemies with many sects in the martial arts world. Of course, the most important thing is, the dragon-slaying sword stolen by Xie Sun is known as the Supreme Martial Arts, Dragon-Slaying Sword. I am coveted by countless people. At present, I have met Mr. and Mrs. Zhang Sanfeng. It has made these Jianghu people extremely excited. As long as Zhang Sanfeng is captured, one can force an inquiry into Xie Sun's whereabouts. Seeing numerous martial artists gathering around, Zhang Sanfeng and Yin Susu couldn't help but be shocked. Without much time to think, they all took action to protect Zhang Wuji. On this occasion, Wudang. After seeing the inventory screen, all the disciples were stunned. What is the situation? Zhang Wuji was actually hit by the Xianming Divine Palm. The leader, for his sake, actually personally went to Shaolin. Everyone was amazed and looked incredulous. Even the 7 heroes of Wudang saw it with a look of shock on their faces. No, right. Does this inventory screen reflect future events? How could it be possible? Who hurt Wuji? Song Yuanxiao and other Wudang's 7 heroes were all amazed and couldn't believe it. Xianming Divine Palm. Who dares to attack my Wudang disciples? Zhang Sanfeng frowned and muttered to himself. According to the inventory screen display, even here, he cannot dispel the poison of the Xianming Divine Palm in Zhang Wuji's body. The 100 Losses Taoist has been dead for many years, and no one has heard of his descendants. Who else knows this Xianming Divine Palm? Zhang Sanfeng pondered to himself, his eyebrows and eyes furrowed. In addition, what impressed him even more was, he ended up taking Zhang Wuji to Shaolin to seek the 9-yang manual. This made Zhang Sanfeng feel somewhat incredulous. You should know that when he was young, he was originally a servant responsible for odd jobs in the Shaolin Temple Sutra Pavilion. Master Zhu, who is in charge of the Sutra Pavilion. Later, when Guoxiang presented Iron Arhat to him, he learned a set of Arhat Fist. With his profound internal strength, he Zudao repelled the Kunlun 3 saints who came to Shaolin Temple to challenge him. But it also violated Shaolin's rules as a result. Afterwards, under the leadership of Master Zhu, he escaped from Shaolin. Because of this matter, Zhang Sanfeng has always been regarded as a traitor by the people of Shaolin here. Later on, he established the Wudang sect here. Quickly, Wudang was promoted and its reputation spread far and wide. Even to the extent of being on par with Shaolin. Nevertheless, Shaolin still harbors hostility towards Wudang. I don't even acknowledge the status of Wudang in the martial arts world. Now, within this inventory screen, I actually went to Shaolin with Zhang Wuji to seek the 9-yang manual. This shocked Zhang Sanfeng even more. After a moment of confusion, he couldn't help but let out a long sigh and sighed. With the temperament of Shaolin people, if you want to obtain the 9-Yang manual, it may be very difficult. Am I, my disciple's grandson, going to die like this? At this moment, the inventory screen is converted again. But seeing that Zhang Sanfeng had already arrived in Shaolin with Zhang Wuji. But it was rejected by Shaolin. Seeing this scene, barrage suddenly erupted. Rejected. It seems. It's not easy to be a related party either. Even Zhang Zhenren seems to have no choice. Isn't Shaolin emphasizing compassion? Hee. If you refuse to save yourself in the face of death, Shaolin is acting like a righteous and prestigious sect. Even a dead bald donkey is like this. A mouth full of compassion is actually a heart of stone. Chapter 6 Shaolin. It is Zhang Sanfeng who will save him. You are listening at novelfull.audio. For a while. In the inventory screen, barrage plays all over. Many people criticize Shaolin for not taking action to save them. Meanwhile, everyone also knows. Since the establishment of Zhang Sanfeng in Wudang, it has been like a rising sun. In just a few decades, he has been on par with Shaolin in the martial arts world. Shaolin, which is the great power of Wulin, has a profound heritage for thousands of years. The rapid rise of Wudang has naturally caused Shaolin to be dissatisfied. These two factions have always been in conflict. It's understandable not to help Zhang Sanfeng. But everyone still feels that Shaolin's approach is inappropriate. Even, there is a feeling of public revenge. After all, Zhang Wuji is innocent. Just because it was Zhang Sanfeng who took him to Shaolin. So I was rejected just now. This goes against the great compassion of Shaolin. On this occasion, Shaolin. Outside the Visakya Mani Hall, a group of Shaolin disciples and high-ranking monks stood tall. Their gaze was fixed on the inventory screen under the sky. When I saw many bullet comments on the screen, it turned out that they were all criticizing Shaolin. Everyone in Shaolin has a dull expression on their faces. The 4 great divine monks also felt helpless upon seeing this. Does Zhang Sanfeng really bring Zhang Wuji to my Shaolin for help? Didn't he also know the 9-Yang manual himself? Yes, it will be, but only 50.6%. In addition to sighing, the 4 great divine monks looked at the Shaolin sect leader one after another. Senior brother, if this really happens, what should Shaolin do? Kongji spoke up and asked. Upon hearing this, the Shaolin leader looked helpless and lost in thought. After a moment of thought, he finally stretched his eyebrows, clasped his hands together, and chanted aloud. Amitabha Buddha. Saving a person's life is better than building a level 7 pagoda. In the future, if Zhang Sanfeng really wants to come, give him the 9-Yang gong. Speaking like this, the Shaolin leader felt bitter and helpless in his heart. He is also doing this for the reputation of Shaolin. I don't want Shaolin to bear the stigma of dying without saving. On the other side, Wudang. Upon seeing the inventory screen, all the disciples were indignant and cursed one after another. Damn it! Shaolin, these bald donkeys are so desperate. I, the leader of Wudang, personally visited the door but was rejected by them. What kind of compassion is all bullshit? Song Yuanxiao and other Wudang's 7 heroes also looked ugly upon seeing this. Zhang Sanfeng's face was filled with helplessness. He had foresight for such a scene just now. I just didn't expect that my entanglement with Shaolin would actually involve my disciple Zhang Wuji. If Shaolin doesn't intervene to save us in the future, I can only let Wuji always be by my side. Zhang Sanfeng muttered quietly. Since you know that Zhang Wuji has the Xianming divine palm in his body, be on guard. Just as he was pondering, the inventory screen once again changed. But seeing that Zhang Sanfeng had failed to seek the 9-Yang gong in Shaolin, he left with Zhang Wuji. At a ferry crossing, I met 7 or 8 Mongolian military officials and monks chasing a bearded man. The bearded man resisted with all his might, but his 2 fists were unable to match his 4 hands. His shoulder and back were hit by arrows one after another, even the child he wanted to protect was hit by an arrow in his vest, and he died in despair. Zhang Sanfeng saw this scene. Why did he delay? Take action immediately. Tartars, stop. Don't harm anyone with violence. With Zhang Sanfeng's strength, he easily dismissed the Mongolian facial features and the monk. Save the bearded man. At this moment, the big man held the body of the boy in one hand and a girl in the other. Zhang Sanfeng inquired and only then found out. This bearded man is actually a common spring in Ming Buddhism. Although there are differences between the righteous and the demonic, Zhang Sanfeng is still so loyal to his young master even though Chang Yuchen is seriously injured. I also believe that he is a good and resolute man. Although it may be reckless to think that one has taken action to save people from Mingjiao, such a man should also be saved. During the conversation, Chang Yuchen also learned about the cold poison in Zhang Wuji's body and immediately spoke up. The villain has a serious internal injury and is about to seek treatment from a divine doctor. Why not go with this young master? Zhang Sanfeng shook his head and sighed. He has cold toxins scattered into the organs, which can be treated with extraordinary drugs. He can only slowly resolve them. Upon hearing this, Chang Yuchen was momentarily taken aback and responded, saying, "But that miraculous doctor really has the ability to bring back life from the dead." After Chang Yuchen's words, Zhang Sanfeng was taken aback and suddenly remembered someone. Are you talking about the Butterfly Valley Doctor Immortal? Here is the inventory screen, switch again. When you take a closer look. But seeing that Chang Yuchen had already taken Zhang Wuji to the location of Butterfly Valley. Everyone saw a scene in the picture. Everyone knows that this is Chang Yuchen taking Zhang Wuji to find the medical immortal Qingniu from Butterfly Valley. At once, barrage shots shot up throughout the screen. Medical immortal Qingniu. It seems there's a way out. Is this a related account? Saving someone casually brings a turning point. Golden Flower Granny. Qingniu. If you dare to heal outsiders of the Ming sect, I will kill you. Qingniu. Damn it. Don't harm me, Chang Yuchen. Chang Yuchen. Haven't you saved me yet? This is the future. It's really amazing that future events have emerged. While discussing, everyone suddenly remembered. At the beginning of the inventory, the inventorier said they knew everything and could do anything. The images that are emerging now are all things of the future. This inevitably made everyone suspicious. Thinking about this inventory collector, is it really omnipotent? Do you know everything? In shock, everyone stared intently at the inventory screen. I want to see if Zhang Wuji has survived by relying on his relationship with Zhang Sanfeng. Chapter 7. Qingniu. Often in spring, you harm me. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Wudang is located. Everyone saw Zhang Wuji being taken to Butterfly Valley by Chang Yuchen. Everyone breathed a sigh of relief. After all, Qingniu, the medical immortal of Butterfly Valley, is well known outside. His medical skills are extremely profound. I am particularly interested in difficult and complicated diseases. Seeing strange symptoms that are once in a lifetime is like a drunkard seeing good wine and a glutton smelling the fragrance of meat. With the help of the Butterfly Valley medical immortal, the Xianming Divine Palm's cold poison can definitely be eliminated. That's right, Wuji has been saved this time. After a series of twists and turns, we were finally able to turn danger into safety. Song Yuanxiao and other Wudang's 7 heroes exclaimed with emotion. Unconsciously, they have already brought themselves into the inventory situation. Start putting oneself in Zhang Wuji's shoes. This Butterfly Valley medical immortal is famous far and wide. I, as a disciple, should be saved, right? Zhang Sanfeng also breathed a sigh of relief, and his furrowed brow relaxed slightly. At the same time, Butterfly Valley. In a small thatched cottage courtyard, there stands a middle-aged man with a clear mind and delicate bones. This middle-aged man is none other than Qingniu, the medical immortal of Butterfly Valley. In the inventory screen, Zhang Yuchen unexpectedly found him with Zhang Wuji. Qingniu couldn't help but curse out loud. I'm Nima. Zhang Yuchen, you're harming me. You should know that although he has superb medical skills here. But there is an unwritten rule that only applies to people in Mingjiao. After all, he himself is a divine physician of the Ming religion. If a person in Mingjiao falls ill, he will do his best to heal and not take a penny. But if someone outside the sect asks him for treatment, even if there are thousands of taels of gold piled up in front of him, he will not look down on it. Nowadays, in this inventory screen, Zhang Yuchen brings outsiders. Done, let Qingniu fry his fur. If I take action to save this Wuji, wouldn't it be a violation of the rules? He is a disciple of Wudang. When the time comes, Grandma Jinhua will cause trouble. Thinking of this, Qingniu wished he could swallow Zhang Yuchen alive. On this occasion, somewhere in the martial arts world, an old woman stopped with a little girl to observe the inventory footage of the sky. This wife has a low nose, thick lips, a square face, and big ears that catch the wind. Who is not Grandma Jinhua? The little girl next to her is clear-spirited and beautiful in appearance. It's Ollie. When seeing the inventory screen, Zhang Yuchen took Zhang Wuji to Butterfly Valley to search for Qingniu. Grandma Jinhua's face suddenly darkened and she snorted coldly. Humph. Qingniu. Ollie, follow your mother-in-law to Butterfly Valley. I want to see if Qingniu has treated this Zhang Wuji. As he spoke, the person angrily stepped away. You should know that this golden flower granny is actually Daikasi, the purple-shirt dragon king of Ming Buddhism. After Daikasi broke through the door and became a disciple, she was ambushed along with her husband Han Qianye in the western regions. Han Qianye was poisoned and terminally ill, while Daikasi was still treatable. Qingniu refused to treat Han Qianye's illness. Finally, it led to Han Qianye's untimely death. Because of this, Daisy had a grudge against Mingjiao. There is even more resentment towards Qingniu. In the eyes of Grandma Jinhua, this inventory is only about Zhang Sanfeng's relationship and should not be considered complete. Shaolin has already refused, Zhang Wuji wants to survive. It can only be Qingniu's move. If that's the case, then Qingniu will break the rules. And here she has reason to kill Qingniu. On the other side, Zhang Sanfeng and his wife are located. Due to being recognized by someone, they had no choice but to take action. Despite the confrontation, the two always protected Zhang Wuji. At this moment, a group of people suddenly appeared not far away. The leader was a man in a white shirt, with a folding fan in hand and a small black eagle embroidered on the left collar, with wings spread out. After seeing this person, Yin Susu quickly shouted out. Brother! The man is none other than Yin Susu's brother, Prince Yin Yi. Upon hearing the shout, King Yin Yi was also surprised. Seeing Yin Susu being besieged, he quickly led someone to attack him. Helped Zhang Sanfeng and his wife out of their predicament. Is this my nephew? Yin Yuang glanced at Zhang Wuji and said with a smile on his face. Following closely, he couldn't help but snort coldly. Those bald donkeys in Shaolin don't have any good things. He also looked at the previous inventory screen. Even though Zhang Sanfeng personally led Zhang Wuji to Shaolin, he was still rejected. At this moment, the inventory screen has once again changed. Under the fixed gaze, it can be seen that the scene has shifted to Wudang. At this time, Wudang is extremely lively. Many forces gathered together. Shaolin Divine Monk, Ame Jingxian Abbess, Kunlun Sect Leader He Taichong, Kongtong 5 Elders, and Huashan Sect Xianyutong. All members of the 5 major sects were present. In addition, there are many other martial arts forces. What's even more shocking is, in the picture, there are actually a large number of Yuan soldiers in Wudang. So many forces gathered in Wudang, all of whom had a bad expression. Seeing this scene in the picture, everyone is watching the inventory screen. Shocked. Following closely, barrage erupted. Holy crap, what is the situation? With so many martial arts sects gathering, are we going to besiege Wudang? Who is so awesome? Dare to attack Wudang? Do you still have Yuan soldiers? Dare to invade my central plains, ... For a moment, countless bullet comments drifted through the inventory screen. What shocked everyone even more was, Wudang is the most powerful sect in the Jianghu. And now in this inventory screen, it seems as if it has been besieged. Chapter 8 exposes the Wudang crisis and exposes stakeholders. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Just as everyone was shocked. Take a look at the inventory screen. But seeing it, there was Zhang Sanfeng present. Wudang people are still surrounded by various sections. Moreover, judging from the tense expressions of both sides, it appears that the situation is critical. If there is a big disagreement, there is a tendency to engage in a big fight. See this scene in the inventory screen. Everyone watching the inventory was shocked and lost. You should know Wudang's current strength, even if there is a lack of connections within the sect. But there is Zhang Sanfeng, the heavenly man, sitting there. Who dares to be reckless? What's going on here? Why do many sects force the palace and Wudang? Even the Yuan soldiers have been deployed. Why did it cause such a big formation? For a moment, everyone was speculating endlessly. Everyone wants to know what exactly happened. Surprisingly, it led many sects to besiege Wudang. At the same time, Wudang. The disciples were all shocked and they saw this behind the scenes. Ah! Will Wudang be besieged in the future? What exactly is going on? Wudang, why is this so? Yuan Bing. Did you send troops to attack? The disciples were amazed and looked puzzled. After all, nowadays Wudang is in the Jianghu, which is like a giant. Who doesn't admire and respect? And in this inventory screen, it actually shows that Wudang is under siege. Even a large number of Yuan soldiers occupy the mountains. How can this not shock Wudang disciples even more? Wudang's 7 heroes, c. Each one also had a solemn expression. I can't understand why such a thing happened in Wudang. No matter how strong their master Zhang Sanfeng is, he cannot withstand countless armies and horses. Zhang Sanfeng frowned upon seeing this. Although the inventory of the images did not occur, it seems to indicate the future. But behind the scenes, he still felt uneasy. Thinking about it, Zhang Sanfeng couldn't help but let out a long sigh and sighed. Wudang is really full of disasters and difficulties. On the other side, after seeing this situation, the Shaolin monks. Great joy. Haha. Wudang will face great difficulties in the future. Judging from the critical situation, Wudang seems to have reached the brink of survival. If Wudang were to be destroyed, the martial arts world would be dominated by my Shaolin family. That's right. By that time, there will be no more claims of northern reverence for Shaolin and southern reverence for Wudang. Shaolin disciples exclaimed one after another. They were happy to see the scene happening in reality when they reviewed it on the screen. After all, Shaolin and Wudang are not against each other. A group of high monks saw the situation, although they did not express any opinions. But their faces were all wrapped in a contented smile. Xianxue also hopes that the situation in the inventory screen can truly reflect in reality. At the same time, go on the official road to Beiliang. Su Fengnian and Lao Huang were squatting on the roadside, nibbling on the stolen chicken legs. The two of them ate with relish and watched the inventory screen. Lao Huang, the chicken legs this time are good. They are charred on the outside and tender on the inside, making them truly delicious. Su Fengnian praised with great admiration. Old Huang didn't say anything, just grinned. When you see behind the scenes in the picture. Su Fengnian swallowed the chicken leg meat in his mouth and snorted coldly. Humph. What kind of Wudang can't defeat the army? Regarding what Su Fengnian said, Lao Huang agreed and nodded, saying, "The crown prince is absolutely right. The northern Liang king's horse treads on the rivers and lakes. Under 300000 iron cavalry, who dares not respect the Liang Jianghu? Another place. Zhang Sanfeng and his wife are communicating with Prince Yin. Seeing his sister Yin Susu again, the Prince of Yin was naturally delighted. At this moment, everyone saw the dangerous situation of Wudang in the inventory screen. Upon seeing this, Zhang Sanfeng was completely shocked. Master! He couldn't help but exclaim in surprise. Although the inventory screen only shows a rough idea. But Zhang Sanfeng also noticed. If that scene really happened, Wudang would be in danger. Susu, we need to hurry to Wudang. Zhang Sanfeng said anxiously, with a solemn expression. Although the inventory of the images has not yet occurred. But Zhang Sanfeng is still worried. I'm thinking about rushing back to Wudang as soon as possible. If it really happens, he can also contribute to Wudang here. Yin Susu nodded and bid farewell to Prince Yi, intending to return to Wudang with Zhang Wuji and Zhang Sanfeng. At this moment, the inventory screen suddenly changed. But seeing that Zhang Sanfeng's place was ambushed by people from Shaolin. Unexpectedly, it resulted in the inability to perform martial arts. Seeing this scene, everyone watching the inventory was shocked. Following closely, the barrage of bullets drifted wildly through the screen. Damn it! Shaolin Bald Donkey surprisingly attacks Zhang Zhenren. What a shame! Such behavior is presumptuous of being a righteous and prestigious family. Just as everyone was filled with righteous indignation. In the picture, Zhang Sanfeng is imparting his understanding of Tai Chi to Yu Daiyan. But the scene of teaching Tai Chi was also noticed by a Wudang disciple nearby. Following closely, the inventory screen changed again. In the Zhenwu Hall, the people of the Ruyang Prince's mansion are forcing the palace. After everyone in Wudang competed, they were all defeated. At this moment, a Wudang disciple appeared. Surprisingly, he directly defeated Ah San from the Ruyang Prince's mansion with Tai Chi. Afterwards, this Wudang disciple reported his identity. Who is it? Not Zhang Wuji. After learning that it was Zhang Wuji, Zhang Sanfeng was extremely pleased and happily recognized each other. Chapter 9 Shaolin Offenders. Everyone's wrath, barrage of bullets in unison. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. As the inventory screen constantly changes. The crowd watching also had a rapid mental rotation. Seeing people from Shaolin secretly attacking Zhang Sanfeng. Causing it to be unable to exert its internal strength. The people in the martial arts world all sneered at Shaolin and condemned it one after another. How could Shaolin people sneak attack Zhang Zhenren? You really have gained a lot of knowledge. Amazing. These bald donkeys really have a compassionate heart. Zhang Zhenren was ambushed and unable to use his internal power. Wudang is only afraid of danger. Later, Zhang Sanfeng passed on Tai Chi to Yu Daiyan. Everyone was once again shocked. Next, there will be a battle inside the Zhenwu Hall. At a critical moment when everyone in Wudang was defeated, a Wudang disciple stood up. And he used Tai Chi to turn the tide and defeated Ah San from the Ruyang prince's mansion. Seeing this scene on the inventory screen, everyone was shocked. Later, it was shocking to learn that the disciple was actually Zhang Wuji. At one point, the barrage flew horizontally in the inventory screen. He is actually Zhang Wuji. In the blink of an eye, everyone has grown into adults. I have a strong martial arts talent, and after just watching it once, I learned Tai Chi. I just said, how could Zhang Jinren be captured in Wudang? Fortunately, there is Zhang Wuji. Surprisingly. In this barrage, there were actually people from Wudang and Shaolin cursing each other. Song Yuan Xiao. Shaolin bald donkey, dare you take action against my master? Shaolin Yuanin. Don't be so angry, that person is not even my Shaolin disciple. Mo Xingu. Hehe, don't you know each other at this time? Seeing Shaolin and Wudang fighting in the barrage, other martial arts figures were also afraid that the world would not be chaotic. They came out one by one and complained about Shaolin in the form of bullet screen. Xiong Ba. What kind of righteous sect is Shaolin? But that's all. Inviting the moon. What kind of compassion should we talk about when we use all three vulgar methods like sneak attacks? Dugu sighed. The people of Shaolin are so cunning and cunning. More and more barrage began to blame Shaolin. The people of Shaolin have refuted it one after another. Shaolin Kongwen. All benefactors, these are all things that have not happened before. Why do you blame me, Shaolin? Shaolin Kongmian. That's right. Why bother adding sin? You clearly want to slander Shaolin. When the people from Shaolin retorted, someone in the barrage said. Look. Shaolin is in a hurry, he's in a hurry. At the same time. Wudang. All the disciples were filled with righteous indignation. Damn it. This Shaolin bald donkey is really despicable. In my opinion, Shaolin must feel that Wudang has surpassed Shaolin in the martial arts world. So, taking advantage of this, Lien and De Yuan want to destroy Wudang. Shaolin is really ambitious. The disciples burst out in anger. Upon seeing this, Zhang Sanfeng's eyebrows furrowed and his anger ignited in his heart. Although the events on the inventory screen have not yet occurred. But just a moment later, I couldn't help but feel angry in my heart. Over the years, due to the flourishing of Wudang. Make Shaolin and Wudang face each other head-on. That's all, he is tolerant and can completely ignore it. But in the inventory screen, people from Shaolin secretly attacked him, as if they were also colluding with foreign tribes in an attempt to destroy Wudang. On this occasion. Shaolin. Outside the Visakya Mani Hall. Many disciples in the forest were all dumbfounded and in a state of confusion. At this moment, in the inventory screen, countless barrage comments are almost all condemning their Wudang. The monk who ambushed Zhang Sanfeng is called Kong Xiang. Who is this person? His mother, it's not our people at all. What should I do? What did we do in Shaolin? Did we provoke the anger of the martial arts community? Shaolin disciples were shocked and their faces were filled with astonishment. In their view, this is just the content displayed in the inventory screen. Something that never happened. But now, it has caused Shaolin to offend the public. Has suffered countless barrage of condemnation from martial artists. Several great divine monks, their faces were also gloomy at this moment, unsure of what to say. In silence, the Shaolin leader glanced slightly and spoke. Check it out for me. What exactly is going on? At this moment. The inventory screen has once again changed. But after seeing Zhang Wuji and Zhang Sanfeng recognize each other, another person emerged from the Ruyang prince's mansion. This person is a lean and emaciated old man, with a slender figure, a wrinkled face, and a worried face. It's Ada. Then, Zhang Sanfeng publicly passed on Zhang Wuji's Tai Chi sword technique. Later, Zhang Wuji used Tai Chi swordsmanship to fight against Ada. This is greatly blessed by the heavenly sword. Sword-wielding speed is as fast as giving birth to 7 or 8 arms. Sword out, blue light ripples, sword aura permeates. The people in the hall only felt a large snowball spinning in front of them, emitting a bone-chilling aura. Seeing Ada's sword strike, Zhang Wuji kept holding his sword and drawing circles. The movement may seem slow, but it gives off a sense of eerie seconds. Then, they exchanged hundreds of moves. Ada's sword was swift and unparalleled, yet it did not harm Zhang Wuji at all. Even his blade never touched a wooden sword in Zhang Wuji's hand. Finally, Zhang Wuji defeated Ada with his newly learned Tai Chi sword technique. After Zhang Wuji defeated Ada, the people of the Ruyang prince's mansion retreated and the Wudang crisis was resolved. Chapter 10. Zhang Wuji's relationship with grandfather. Tianying Sect. You are listening at novelfull.audio. See this scene in the inventory screen. Countless barrage flying. The crisis has been resolved. This is related to the household, it's amazing. It's both Tai Chi and Tai Chi sword, these are Zhang Zhenren's unique skills. I envy you. It has to be said that Zhang Wuji's martial arts talent is also terrifying. Where is there one who can learn? With this martial arts skill by my side, the world is vast, where can't I go? In addition to the discussion, there are other bullet comments mixed in. How did Zhang Wuji's Xianming divine palm cold poison dispel? After he grows up, it seems like he's okay now. Inventory checker, there's no such thing as selling tricks. It seems that there are many unknown secrets among them. At the same time, the Zhang Sanfeng couple are rushing towards Wudang. Although on the road, I always pay attention to the inventory. When I saw Zhang Wuji grow up safely and save Wudang from danger, the couple were both delighted. Especially, seeing Zhang Wuji's strong martial arts talent. Both Tai Chi and Tai Chi sword are easy to learn. Zhang Sanfeng and Yin Susu were even more delighted. In silence, Zhang Sanfeng glanced at Zhang Wuji, who was still a child, and sighed. It seems that Wuji has grown up and acquired master's true and unparalleled skills. His achievements far surpass those of our generation of disciples. When Zhang Sanfeng said these words, his face was filled with relief. Upon hearing this, Yin Susu smiled and said, the events in this inventory have not yet happened, and no one knows whether they are true or false. Speaking like this, his heart actually hopes that those things will happen. Although there was a crisis, fortunately the final outcome was beautiful. Upon seeing this, Zhang Wuji danced happily and said happily, Mom and Dad. In the future, when Wuji grows up, he can protect you all. At the same time, Wudang. After seeing the resolution of the Wudang crisis, everyone looked excited. Haha. Great. The crisis has finally been lifted. The people of Shaolin want to use the hands of Yuan Ren to destroy our Wudang, it's simply wishful thinking. I still benefited from Wuji. The disciples exclaimed in surprise. The 7 heroes of Wudang were also delighted to see this. There is no danger or danger. Is the martial arts talent of Wuji children so terrifying? Can he even learn his master's ultimate skill at once? I really hope to see this kid soon. The 7 heroes exclaimed repeatedly, while also shocking Zhang Wuji's martial arts talent. Zhang Sanfeng, who was nearby, saw behind the scenes. It is also a face full of joy. If the content in the inventory screen is true, my disciple's talent is not below the Tsuishan mountain. Zhang Sanfeng was secretly amazed. You should know that Zhang Tsuishan was already his most proud disciple who passed down his lineage. The reason why he is fond of it is because he values his martial arts talent. In this inventory, whether it is Tai Chi or Tai Chi sword, Zhang Wuji is there. They all demonstrate talents that ordinary people cannot match. At that speed, one can comprehend Tai Chi. Zhang Wuji is the first person. Even here in Zhang Sanfeng, everyone feels inferior. Suishan has a good son. After a moment of thought, Zhang Sanfeng couldn't help but exclaim. On this occasion. On a vast grassland. Dadu. Within the military tent, the eyebrows and eyes of King Ruyang were frozen. He saw all the scenes from the previous inventory. Especially when seeing Yuan soldiers appear in Wudang. It is even more shocking. After a battle in the Jinwu Hall, the leader of the Ruyang prince's mansion was a woman. He could tell at a glance. That woman is not his daughter, and who is Zhao Min? Is that Min Min in 10 years' time? King Ruyang exclaimed with emotion and a sigh on his face. My heart is both joyful and worried. Fortunately, my daughter Min Min has grown up. Even with some planning, they could go and attack Wudang. If it weren't for Zhang Wuji's sideways thrust, Wudang may have really fallen into the hands of its daughter Zhao Min. What worries me is, the crisis in Wudang was ultimately resolved by Zhang Wuji. This also led to the failure of Zhao Min's plan. And the talent displayed by Zhang Wuji. It made King Ruyang worried that it would be detrimental to Zhao Min. Hoo. After much contemplation, King Ruyang took a deep breath and couldn't help but sigh. After so many years, haven't I, the Yuan, taken control of the Central Plains yet? Upon hearing this, King Ruyang's heart was filled with emotion. Just as everyone was shocked by the inventory. Above the sky, Chen Xuan's voice suddenly came out. Zhang Wuji's Family Relations Chapter. My grandfather, Demon Master, and head of the Eagle Sect in Tianying. Accompanied by Chen Xuan's words, a row of huge subtitles first appeared on the inventory screen. Following closely, a figure slowly emerged in the picture. This is a burly bald old man with long eyebrows that surpass snow, drooping corners of his eyes, a hooked nose that resembles an eagle's beak. At first glance, it gave off a feeling of grandeur and grandeur. Who is in Tianying, who is not known as the White Eyebrow Eagle King? This. Seeing this scene, the whole world of martial arts is bewildered. Everyone was staring blankly, their expressions full of disbelief.